Hello everybody.
Hey.
I've got Ollie with me again, and this week we're probably going to talk about one of the most complicated topics we've ever discussed. Emotional eating.
Yep.
Oliver, tell me a little bit about emotional eating. What is it?
So emotional eating's when you kind of you eat because you feel a certain way, you feel a negative emotion, like maybe you're feeling sad, stressed from work or family or something, angry about something, and what you do to kind of take your mind off that or feel better is eat. So you're not really hungry, you don't need to eat, but you're just eating to feel good and brain, get your mind off what was stressing you out or making you feel that way.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So is this sort of tying it back to the very first video we did in this series where it's been scientifically proven that food can have this rewarding effect on the brain? So what you're basically saying is if people are feeling down, and because food can have this effect, it is something that people may turn to make themselves feel better.
Definitely, like if you've been eating kind of this junk kind of food, like your chocolate or your hamburgers or whatever, chips, and you've kind of got that in your mindset that this makes me feel good, then when you feel negative emotions, it is easy just to go to that, to trigger that reward in your brain and make you feel good again.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ollie, this is going to be a really personal question. Is this something that you have come across at any point in your life?
Not to a really strong degree, but yeah, definitely. Like sometimes I get stressed out, like at work and stuff, and at the end of the day, what you do just to clear your mind, I'll get some takeaways, go to McDonald's or something, eat quite a lot from there. Kind of going overboard. No, not just like one combo. It will be more than that. That's something that has affected me. How about yourself?
Oh, I mean, definitely. And again, this is something very personal. But it was the last bodybuilding competition that I did. I sort of expected to do a lot better than I actually did. And I remember immediately after the competition, standing there really disappointed with what I'd achieved, and thinking, hey, at least I can now eat whatever I want. And for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I kind of ate whatever I wanted, not because I was hungry, not because I was trying to provide my body with any nutritional value. It was just pretty much, as you're saying, to feel better, to get rid of that disappointment. Now, thinking back to that competition, the way I prepared, the amount of things I learned while preparing for it, far outweigh anything I could have ever achieved by a placing, by winning a trophy, by winning a medal. But at that time, I was probably feeling really low, and definitely turned to food to make myself feel better.
And it wasn't like the chicken and broccoli.
Oh no! It was literally it was eating cheesecake from the package it comes in. And it was just, I remember coming home from work one day and just thinking about how the weekend had gone and how disappointing it was, and just saying, hey, at least I've got that cheesecake in the fridge. I think it's just one of those things where it is complicated. It's not one of those cut and dry formulas, and people go through different things at different points in life, and it's just interesting for people to be aware of the fact that food is something that people can turn to for comfort.
I think, what you said about the cheesecake is relatable to pretty much a lot of people, either eating from a bag of chips and eating the whole packet of biscuits, maybe like one of those tubs of ice cream.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's like definite emotional eating if you're doing something like that.
Yeah. Now, Ollie, we probably come to the really difficult part of this video now, because one of the things that we really want to focus on from the listener's perspective is something for them to take away. Now, if there is somebody who has an issue with emotional eating, what is your recommendation to them?
First of all, it depends how deep an issue it is. If it's something like deep in the core, deeply rooted in you, that's been around for a long, long time, maybe we won't be able to help because some issues are really deep that you need to talk to someone who's trained to help you out in those kind of things. So if that was the case, would say you should see someone like a medical professional or someone that can help you overcome those issues. I think we might be able to give some tips about if you are you've got issues kind of like what we just talked about, where it's not deeply embedded, but it's something that does affect you if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the reason we're doing this, and we are not medical professionals. We're keen to help people, but I think there is a point beyond which enthusiasm and the willingness to help stops providing value. And people actually need to go and see someone who is a professional, and that is not us. So the whole point of this video is to raise awareness about this issue, and if this is something that you have been struggling with for a long time, then please make the point of going out to see a medical professional. And from the perspective of someone who has this issue and it's not as deep rooted, I think. The only thing I would say is I think mindfulness helps. Being more mindful. You spoke about things like tracking, and last week Adam mentioned things like instead of having the whole cheesecake, I'll have a couple of slices today, and I'll have a couple, in a couple of days time. I think those kinds of small goals help, but as you've said, and I completely agree, if the issue is something that somebody out there has been struggling with for a long time, then medical advice is probably the go-to.
I think mindfulness is probably the key. Identifying when you're doing that, identifying if you're eating and you're not tasting it, you're not enjoying it, you're not hungry. Identifying those times when you feel that way. And kind of make a note that you're doing it. So next time you feel that way, you kind of know, well, I'm going to feel this way. I'm going to eat. Maybe I should do something else instead.
Absolutely.
Because you're doing it to feel good. So you should probably try to think of other ways you can feel good. No example for me, I like to do some exercise, some cardio. And that's exercise has the kind of a similar effect in the brain.
That's right.
That eating does. If you do it enough, it's going to kind of reward you for it, and you're going to feel good by doing it. Identifying the trigger would be one thing. Can you think of?
I think to be honest, Ollie, mindfulness, as you say. Awareness, and I think the other thing is just general positivity. I think we kind of all have phases, whether it be in our professional careers or in any sorts of hobbies that we do. In my case, it's bodybuilding, where you kind of go through ups and downs, you go through injuries. And I think what kind of really helped me was just reflecting more holistically, instead of just looking at a a small point in time, one competition, just going back and looking at the whole picture and thinking, hey, this is actually 3 or 4 years worth of hard work that isn't really defined by basically one day of competing. And in the case of bodybuilding, someone's opinion. So it's a very subjective thing. And I think just thinking about those things, it really helped. It really helped get rid of that negative emotion. And I think, like you've said, the problem, the catalyst for the issue is more that negative emotion. It's not so much the eating, it's not so much the hunger, it's that negative emotion. And I think whatever that is for someone, I think addressing that is something that could help. And this is where I think, this is why the need for possibly medical consultation becomes really important, because the core cause of that negative emotion may be something that is you simply can't address by watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll probably stop it there, guys. Again, the feedback from the video last week has been really, really amazing. A lot of you have said that, particularly on the social overeating in the workspace, was something that you needed to be more aware of. So keep watching, keep liking, and keep subscribing, and we will continue this series next week.
And if you've got any questions about this topic, let us know, and we can kind of do a follow-up video or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Ollie.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you.